All right, I'm unmuted. I believe we're live. Greetings, everyone. Hello, Kata. I am sorry, my glasses. Hello, Willow. Hello, Ann. And for those of you who are popping in, say hello in the chat if you don't mind. We'll give you a shout out. It's good for everyone to come here. Yes, and the LA channeling was really fun, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a wonderful channeling by the Andromedans. And yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's really good. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it live? Was it going live, or did it kind of look like it was still trying? Anyways, if you didn't hear me, and the LA channeling was awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed watching it. So yeah, we're definitely live now. It looks like it's ticking on the clock. The sound should be good. Hello, everyone. Say hi in the chat if you like to, and we appreciate you guys tuning in to Sunday evening with Roxanne. I didn't get any kind of idea to channel any particular idea. You know, when I'm working in my advanced class, I talk a lot about the stuff that I get. Gopberg, hey, good. It sounds good. Good to see you, Gop. You know, I talk about some of the concepts that they bring in the advanced classes. And hey, Kev, welcome. Say hi to Annie for me. And I didn't have anything to channel about this week, so I thought I'd go over with you the changing concepts of you create your own reality was really from where I was when I first heard it. Good evening, Turtle. To where I am now, it's universes apart in understanding. And that was, I guess, 11 years ago when I first heard that concept. I was at, coming up on 11 years. It'd be 11 years in November, kind of in October. No, that was in June in meditation. So maybe almost, yeah. When I was doing my first meditation group before I, quote, woke up and really figured out what all this was about. And someone had said you create your own reality. And of course, hi, Kim, of course, my mind goes, create. See, when we think about creation, we think about manifestation creation as a generalization. Not everyone does, but most of the people that I've encountered, when they understood that concept create, we create out of thin air and make all these things because we're creators by nature. So we know how to just do these things. And then you find out it's all light, and it's all bended light to your will, and the frequencies that create the images, and the mind translates, and you find out a whole bunch of stuff. And then I learned, you know, creating your reality is a complete relationship. Guys, I still haven't fully been aware of intention. I'm not 100% understanding everything about intention. Now, human intention is fucking simple. I'm not talking about the playground intention of humanity. I want this, I do the process, and I get it, and I intend it, and I succeed. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the relationship of the will of the now, law of attraction, and effortless, and those kinds of ideas. When I let go of creating out of willful intent to make my perfect earth, which was a human perfection, what my ego mind thought would be perfect. It would take away all the pain and only give me constant happiness, and everything would be fine. And there would be no polarity. There would only be good. And that's not it. See, it's not good. It's unconditional. So I had to learn that. Unconditional love has nothing to do with good or bad. Those are emotional relationships. I had to understand that. Then I understood I don't want to create a world of perfection because my mind doesn't know who I am. When I recognized that wasn't my mind, the identity of who I thought I was, Then I understood if I create something according to my past, according to my desires and wants as a human reflection, then I'm going to be subjected to that permanency if that was manifested. And that's not who I am. That's who my ego is. That's what life told me what is the best thing for me. And then, you have to enlighten yourself and take down the shit so you can start finding the nature of you, what you truly are interested in, what you truly is your passion, what is your hobbies and pursuance without a relationship of reason, outcome, and anything to do with the nature of humanity and its accomplishing. So when I was looking at creating your own reality, I realized it was a relationship. I only suffer because of my truths. You have physical suffering. You have hot, you have cold, you have aches and pains, especially when you're 58, you start to feel like, damn, 3 flights of stairs, that third flight carrying up some groceries, it's like, whew, it gets you to you a little bit. But we're not talking about that kind of pain. We're talking about this internal pain we create that's our creation because it's a relationship. It's a truth of mine. So when my reality, and when I say my reality, I'm talking about my human truths that look at my reality attracted and interpret it as such a thing that it would give me a experience. So my truths create my experience. Oh, good, Kim. Way to go, Gen X. Truth creates my experience, right? So my reality, I create my reality, but now I change it to my truths create my experience. My experience is my reality. And I really had to understand that over and over and over and over and over again to keep holding on to that concept while I transcended these truths that gave me the pain. And I've been fairly honest with myself about the pain at the beginning, trying to really accept it was mine, but not real good at that until later. So it doesn't come right away. You really want to, and when I say you, I mean a collective whole, because I've talked to a shitload of people in the last 11 years. And I've had a shitload of sessions, and it's all the same thing. It's all the truths inside the head. So when you realize the truth, and I want you to know that when you are in pain, you have to stop and look at that truth that says pain. Okay? Because again, I had a 3-month thing and then another 3 months. And so I'm coming to the end of this next 3 months, and you can tell when you're about to move through a phase of your own self, which I got my indications and I moved through a phase. And this plateau that I'm now exploring is fucking heaven. It's so blissful. But here's the thing, and I want you to really, really look at this. Okay, pay attention, class. I feel all of this bliss, this joy, this exploration of reality, and there's not one goddamn reason attached to it. Now, if you're a master and you're interested in ascending, then you need to ponder that concept a little bit and understand my emotions, my ways of translating reality, what I feel, what I interpret as truth, don't have reason attached to it. The fucking freedom in that is essential for you to understand how we are unconditional love in a state of unconditional love all the time. It's a state of being equal to fucking bliss. I want to say a bliss, but not a constant emotion, not like constant happiness. It's not that. See, it's a state of being. When you move through it, you're engaged in what humanity has defined in a whole bunch of different ways of how are you feeling. I'm intrigued, I'm focused, I'm productive, I'm working, and they got to define everything so they can make a pill for it, whatever. So I'm looking at it as my passion that moves through these motions of interpretation that are just good evening, Ginger. Hey, Debbie. Uh, these emotions of interpretation that are just, and I don't even want to call them, hello, Lucia. I don't even want to call them emotion. I want to call it motion. I've mentioned that sometimes in my master classes and in my advanced classes. It's motion. And when in my Ascension classes, we talked about leave the emotion that is an attachment, that has a certain energy attached to it that's defined. And when I feel pain or anger or betrayal or the big motherfucker, fear and anxiety and all of this stuff, I look at it and I was like, all of that is because I have the truth of it on. And it's not my physical eyes. This is my being. This is the being of me. And this is my truth and my interpretation. And not just your eyes, your entire vibrational, hello, Brenda, your entire vibrational being is receiving this entire interpretation. And your body feels anxiety, doesn't it? See, it's not just your mind, it's your entire body taking in the interpretation. And it's penetrating deep, and it's constricting, and it's changing your breath and raising your temperature and giving a pit in your stomach. Hello, Dom. And you can feel the emotion in a physical sense. It is an exceptional way to experience reality. We are masters of experience, of feeling. Remember, experience is not a historical idea of memory. Don't put it as simple as that. Experience is life in the moment. It's alive, it's moving, it's thrusting, it's penetrating, it's giving you all of your existence all at the same time. But we always have been taught to pay attention to very, very important, valuable things, which is, of course, all subjective because one man's trash is another man's treasure. We got that. But it's always subjective to you. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that you can be free from all pain, from all suffering, from all fear, from all need, and, oh God, a big one, desire. A big one, envy. A big one, a want. Look, they're not wrong relationships. We're not talking again about right and wrong and what sin says, and to desire and lust and stuff like that. They're not wrong. That's what the book said. They were ideas. Hey, if you're going to be greedy, you're going to experience the vibrational input of greed and repercussions of greed. And whatever that's going to be, those were ideas about how you're relating to reality. Well, so when you're envious, you're vibrating so much lack. You're just taking your beingness, your worthiness, and you're putting this big dark blanket over your light and saying you don't have what you see. And it's going to be so hard for you to get it. It's going to be unattainable almost, that you have to remain in envy of that, whatever that is, or the guilt of your own existence being wrong. They taught us guilt because I should have known better. How does anyone know how my mind, let alone your mind and everyone else's mind, works? No one knows how we covet, what things we find valuable, but we can sure the fuck criticize the shit out of you. We'll judge you. Will leave you wanting, will destroy you in society if we don't agree with you as a power being, as a mass collective, as a societal standard, as a church or something like that. Well, make sure you know that you're not very good at it. or you're unwanted. And that's all just, of course, people ego, because they're not worthy of their own existence. So they have to hurt people and dominate people and control people because they don't know their beauty. They live it through the identity of those accomplishments. And it's amazing to see. And the greatest part about this is you don't have to fucking participate. It's a big drug, isn't it? The drug of identity. Participating in the polarized world. The Andromedans talked about the splitting Earths, and they are splitting. In our lifetimes, the 3D and the 4D Earth will still be catchable. You can go back and forth, but there will be a day where one Earth is untouchable to the other Earth because the vibrations are so far apart that people can't know that those Earths are over there that you can change and get to. That's why you got to do the work now. And you got to realize that. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Super chat, thank you. With Debbie out there, shout out. Thank you, darling. So if we realize that we create our relationship to reality with the truths that are in our head, which I know something, folks, listen to me. I know you don't think it's you. You're thinking it's everything else. I was talking to, last month, I had a session, and they had a relationship with the truth that they've been carrying for a few years. And I was telling them, why do you keep believing that? Well, because it's true. And I said, who said that? And they gave all the reasons. And I said, but you've accepted those as your truth. So in other words, the outside authority, you took that truth and made it the internal truth. And therefore the relationship with that is such your life. And you want to fix it, but you can't fix it. You have to change it. How beautiful is that for us never to fix anything, and in the most beautiful, unconditional, loving way, no violence at all, we change it. And then it's gone. Abraham told us we destroy realities every day, but we create them too. And we're not destruction, destroy. We just take our energy away, and that truth crumbles into another truth, into change, into evolution. It's not wasted. It's not forgotten. That's the human mind taking the construction of its definition and applying it to consciousness. You have to go beyond the human mind, but the first thing you have to do is recognize the human. It leads you every day, every time. And the hardest part, for everyone is going to be swallowing the pill that is the truth. That the truth that you create your own reality is not only the truth, but the ultimate truth. That every truth and all truths are true. That's what you vibrate. That's what you get. That's your immediate experience, and it never changes. You're looking at time to change it. You're looking at history to cause and effect. But what it is, it's now. And the now is that interpretation, that immediate experience, and it's next year now, and now, and now, and now. So every day, how many times have you talked about the past that solidifies the identity of how you're feeling, what you're doing, what you should do, what you can't do, what you ought to do? What does your thinking mind tell you every day that you have to control and navigate? You're always talking about other people in your life and blaming them for the things that they're doing to you. And they're trying to get away from you, but you are can't let them go. So you keep interfering in their business. because you think it's them, and you're trying so hard to fix them because you know best for other people. Maybe you have grandkids, but your kids don't like you, and you don't understand why they don't like you. They love you truly, but they don't like you because you can't stop controlling them. And that's so hard for humans to stop, because that identity is the source of your existence interpretation. To let go of what you built, let go and transcend and lose yourself to the vastness of I am without identity is such a monumental task. It is the hardest thing that you will ever do. It takes an insurmountable amount of trust, an even larger amount of courage to choose to deconstruct all of the things that create your valuable self that is and needed to be only exclusively fed by the mirror. So you keep putting out that identity to get that feedback, and that feedback sustains you and you love it. And most of the time, you don't fucking recognize it. How many of you have an illness that you take pills for? Not right or wrong. Not right or wrong. But can you look at the truths of those things? It's not you're going to fix and throw away the pills today. See, we're not talking about fixing. That's the habit of humanity. We're talking about evolving, enlightening, ascending. Every God is in perfect health. Every physical body is in perfect health. And that idea of interpretation of that, hello, Tails, is in the experience of the mind. And I have pain. I had stomach pains. I got acupuncture, cleared that up. I had back pains. I got a back stretcher, cleared that up. I journeyed to figure it all out. Okay? People take medications for the ADHD or the bipolar. And maybe there's a resolve in there that's further deeper inside, that you can start to evolve inside of your kingdom because you're aware of the truths that you have accepted and create through that truth. And it doesn't mean it's going to change. It doesn't mean anything. But isn't it worth the fucking investigation? Isn't it worth you looking at these truths and understanding them from an entity that just woke up, that doesn't know it's God, but has an inkling that it's something beyond the idea of the physical reality and everything the memory defines you as well as everyone around you telling you who the fuck you are? Isn't that worth the investigation? To really show to yourself that you are interpreting your truths, creating your experience? And so many people fight for their identities. They scream for it. And when they're challenged, they turn into Karens all over the world, screaming and hollering for no reason because they've been violated or offended. Just stop and look at yourself. You can ascend this lifetime, and I don't care how old you are, because age and time have nothing to do with it. That's all a relationship right here in the now that you value. And when you engage in that and claim it, it becomes an experience of truth. And therefore it becomes your reality. We're all time machines because we create time. These are things of 11 years worth of investigation and channeling and working with students, all these thousands of students that I've worked with over these years, to understand, guys, we can do this. You can enlighten yourself, and you have the tools. But you have to be willing to journey through time, through the experience, and do the ideas of what you understand transcendence to be, to move through yourself and beyond yourself by making those immensely difficult choices to allow a self that you valued your entire life, that held you up and made you who you were, and release it. and become this unknown self with no validation, no need for acceptance anymore. It knows it's enough. It doesn't need the value of external love. It's fallen in love with itself, and therefore the love is manifested as a reflection. Sinus pains. Kim says sinus pains for over 2 weeks, and looking for the beliefs to see how I manifest this. And it's not necessarily a manifestation in intent. It's a manifestation as an attraction experience. Here's how I go through all of my pain, every single one of them. And I was hospitalized twice for my stomach, so it was pretty serious. The back was enormous. We figured that out. So here's what I did, Kim, okay? The first thing, now listen to me, everybody watching, pay attention, put your mind down for a minute, open yourself up to the moment of flow. When your mind starts to bark, it's trying to figure it out, stave it off for a moment, become the simplicity of allowance, surrender to this moment. Okay? So Kim, you have sinus pain. I want you to know something. I want you to know this, okay? I said, Kim came to the planet. She never got to experience sinus pain before. But the ego doesn't understand it and doesn't want it because it's painful. But the collective whole of Kim goes, I want to experience sinus pain. And see, when you have this and you go, I don't want that, then you're going to experience what you put out as what you get back as perpetual, because you're putting in the lack saying, I don't want that. So the mirror is going to say, oh, you don't want that. It doesn't fix it for you. It tells you again, you don't want that. So it keeps it there so you can keep saying, I don't want this. So it keeps it there so you can keep saying, I don't want this, because that's what you want. The experience of saying, I don't want this. That's why it doesn't fix. So now Kim understands, oh, I love the pain, but not in the way that you become this affirmation love. Oh, I embrace and love this and I love that. See, that's the mindful love that they taught you of the positive emotions. We're not talking about that love either, Kim. Kim's going to take this. Here's what you're going to do, Kim. And each and every one of you that have all of your other ideas about pain and suffering, the first thing I want you to do is absolutely embrace it with every fiber of your being. The people that have been through my Ascension classes understand this, and it works. It works. But you have to surrender to it. I have sinus pain. Awesome. Look at this. I have sinus pain. But I really want you to give into it. Your mind's going to want to fight it. Your mind's going to want to think you're fucked up. Stop it. I don't want to become this. Yes, you do. You came here to experience what you can't get in any other incarnation. Polarity. The greatness of the polarized experience. From one second to another, you can go from one side to the other in an instant. You can be happy, get news, and in the toilet, just like that. You can be in the toilet, you win the lottery, you're happy, and everything else doesn't matter. Because you have a perceived freedom from all your sorrows, because you have this value of this will solve all my problems. Isn't that a masterful fucking experience? That's why we're here. So Kim, when you get it, you surrender to it and say, I've got sinus. Let me feel it. Let me go in with my little eyes, and I'm going to go through all of my sinuses, and I'm going to feel the pulsation of the pain, and I'm going to embrace the pulsation. God damn, that fucking hurts. It's a pain in the ass. I fucking hate this, but you know what? I'm going to surrender to it. It's mine, and I own it. I need to skip this ad. Hang on. No ads. Okay. So, and just let it pulsate. Let it pulsate. Feel the pain. Swim in it. And then when you're focused on it, in the eternal now, then you notice the pain changes because you're not keeping it, because you are not keeping it with, I don't want it. You got to love it. You got to love it. You got to embrace it. You got to rock it in the bosom of grace. And here's my fucking pain. I had to do that with my anger. I had to do that with my guilt. I had to do that with my betrayal, with my externalism, of absolute. I don't like what humanity does to each other, and it hurts me, and it makes me cry. I was watching this outstanding movie, The State of Jones, Matthew McConaughey, 2016 or something. I couldn't finish it because it was about slavery. And it made me hurt so much. I get so mad what we do to each other. It was a phenomenal movie. It got like 4.8 stars. McConaughey should have got an Oscar if he didn't for it. It was a fabulously written show, but I just couldn't stand what we were doing and what we have the capability of doing in that way. So I don't go into that world. That's my unconditional love. It says, I'm not going to engage in that polarity world anymore. I got to represent what we are possible. And I can't represent what we're possible if I still have the human being expressed. And the human is a separate conditioned idea. I'm going to still remain a human incarnation, but I don't have to value the human societal truths of polarity, of good and bad, of positive and negative. I can go beyond that and find my own moral compass and choose those relationships. And my mirror, my vortex reflects and changes everything. The billion versions of all of you people become the version that matches my truth. Not my need, not my hope, not my demands. So if I get busy with the kingdom, then the kingdom starts to reflect and build this absolutely phenomenal world that when I effortlessly flow through my now and focus on the life of I am, then life becomes the eternal self that it's always wanted. And it's not the external desirous items that complete you. It's the wholeness of self-discovery in what we call our internal love for the self. I never fully understood Osifius in 2014. The highest act of love possible is to love the self, because loving one is loving all. And I didn't understand that because my mind was divided. I have to take the division down. And I did. I worked hard every day. And I'm not done. I still got thoughts and I still got this, but I see myself weaning off of those values. I see myself not engaging in the worlds that I did before. Last week was about the eternal now. When you're now and you don't apply any memory, who the fuck tells you who you are except you? What defines you except your memory itself? But if you are clean and naked in the moment, there is nothing that comes in unless it is a truth of yours. And then if you look at that truth and honest with the self and decide if you want to continue this truth or not, then you start to create your own reality because you say what comes in. And I know you're afraid. There's a lot of people out there afraid because of loss. They sell themselves a story. They're committed or they have obligations and responsibilities. And that's not a bad story to sell you. It's very valuable and it's very scary, but it's not permanent. Change is the only constant. And if you get busy with yourself with step one of internal realization and slowly, steadily, heartfully, truthfully, without hesitation or delay, start choosing the internal self, transcend a million selves, and you'll find yourself back on your throne in your own fucking kingdom. This I know. Because I'm not special and everyone can have it. If I can get here, I fucked up three divorces, 3 bankruptcy, transgender Gen Xer who was just a fucking mess can do it. I guarantee you motherfuckers can do it. You can find your way home in this mess. You beautiful fucking gods that had the courage to come down here to experience separation, to enjoy the master class. The first thing I did was embrace every ounce of my polarity, because I'm not going to waste it and have to come back and say, I didn't get everything I wanted to get. I think I'm going to go back again. I don't want to say that to myself. Every ounce of every condition in my mind, I allow with complete surrender, embrace to pass through me, to penetrate me, to become me so I know it in my gestalt and I evolve it. And then I'll never do it again. Such freedom. So this week, again, as always, work on yourself, masters. Find that one little truth. God's sakes, give me an email if you need clarity on something. I am enormously generous with my information, generous with my time, but I don't want that label. I'm just saying, look, guys, I'm here to offer, and I'm really good at this. I haven't mastered it yet, but I know it, because when you get to this place and you get to this knowing, you start to understand this is what we are by nature. We don't hate, we don't kill, we don't divide, we don't condition. We flow in the beauty of our own love that is always flowing to us and through us. Okay? All right, everyone. So listen, I love you so much. Debbie, again, thank you for the super chat donation. To everybody else out there, go and master yourselves. Okay? If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to donate, you can do that to odysseyofascension.com, which is a link below. And if you need me, freaking email me and let's shoot the shit and figure this out. Okay? I love you too, Kim. All right, everyone. I love you all. Thank you all for joining me at odysseyofascension.com. That was kind of cool. At odysseyofascension.com. Anyways, thank you, Ginger. I love you too. Thank you, Turtle. I love you guys. I love you all. We'll see you in the next now. Okay? Bye.